Yeah. I'm back in here, man. I'm back in here. Got a little cat nap in. Been up since 3 a.m. Got to catch the Usyk Joshua fight, obviously, because I called it. Your boy Devon Sense Boxing called it. I told y'all Usyk gonna win this by unanimous decision. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he's in the UK. Yep, he's gonna go in Joshua's backyard and he's gonna pull out a decision. I told you guys, man. If you guys don't know, then I have a black screen here. Huh. Out here blocking my camera. Can y'all hear me though? You can hear me but can't see me? Man, you see? You see. All right, y'all see me yet? Hey, Joshua fans, leave me alone. Joshua fans, leave me alone. I didn't do anything wrong, I promise. I just predicted, as I saw it. All right, we good now. Okay. Shit, well, let me. This was Usyk tonight. What? Yeah. That's right. That's right. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you do because most of you follow my channel closely. Always give me love and respect, and for that I appreciate you guys immensely. But on September 1st, I dropped a video titled Usyk Will Shock Joshua. I dropped that on September 1st. A lot of people criticized me. A lot of people thought I was crazy. A lot of people said I didn't know about boxing. There's no way that the smaller man can beat the mighty Anthony Joshua. So I've already went live, right after the fight and gave you guys my post-fight thoughts. We're going to talk about it a little bit more here tonight. Tay Jones is on the way. He said he's placing some bets on football tomorrow. So he's on his way. And then we got Stormy B-Man may be able to make it. And Drew Titan. Drew Titan's finishing work here in about 30 minutes or so. And I believe he's going to jump up in here too. And I'm going to let them say their thoughts. I've already went live directly after the fight. At the end of the day, like I said, I called it. I knew that Usyk was going to come in, outbox Joshua. And it really went the way that I imagined that it would, to be completely honest with you. I almost didn't wake up to watch it because for me, the fight comes on. It came on this morning for me at 3 a.m. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm trying to wake up to watch this because I was very, very confident that this was going to happen. And I thought, well, at the end of the day, I don't want to miss it. So I decided to go ahead and get up early, roll out of bed, and watch it. And it went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go. If you guys don't know, if you guys didn't check the stream earlier when I went live directly after the fight, I scored at 116, 112. Evidence to my handy little notebook here I use to score fights and, write down interesting facts when I do fight breakdowns and things like that. So what would that be? 116 to 112. That means I gave Joshua 4 rounds. And if I'm not mistaken, I had it even going into the 9th round. And then from 9 to 12, Usyk closed the deal. I highlighted round 3 and round 7. Those 2 rounds is when Usyk actually hurt Joshua, and Joshua was stumbling and fumbling around. And I knew at that point that if Joshua doesn't get a knockdown or a knockout, it's a wrap. So, needless to say, I was sitting very comfortably, half asleep on my sofa, watching it at 3 a.m. Except I believe in the 11th or 12th round, I thought Usyk could have stopped him. I think the stoppage was there. He just didn't have quite enough firepower to finish it off. But it doesn't really matter. He got the job done in Joshua's backyard. And what I have pulled up right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the video that I made on September 1st. As I mentioned earlier, Usyk will shock Anthony Joshua. I got 73 dislikes on that video. 73, not 10, not 15, not 20, 73. So, needless to say, fair amount of people not too happy about my prediction. But this is exactly why you guys are subscribed to Divine Sense Boxing, because I talk boxing. When I make these prediction videos, I take my time. I take it very seriously. And I research and I dissect and I break it down and I talk to people behind the scenes like Stormy B-Man. Shout out to Stormy. He gave me some information that I didn't think about either. I was fairly confident that Usyk was going to win, but after I spoke to Stormy, I was like, oh, he definitely going to win now. After Stormy was dropping that knowledge on me. So speaking to people like him and others behind the scenes, that's what I do. So you guys already know what I think about Fury, Wilder, right? You guys already know where I got that. I already said on multiple occasions, it's not going past 6. Knockout. The next big fight at hand is Canelo and Plant. So that's another one that I've got to dissect and go through and pick a winner on that one. But it's going to come out and I'll drop a video. And anytime I do a video like a prediction, it's an upload, right? It's edited, less than 15 minutes, straight to the point, let you guys know, and I leave it up. I let the people comment as they go. A lot of hatred, a lot of nasty and disgusting comments, trying to criticize me and, dismantle my character. But when it's all said and done, who stands up at the highest point of the mountaintop? That's what matters. But, I heard Stormy earlier go live, and he made a good point. He said it's not about proving people wrong. It's informing people that we know what we're talking about. And hopefully gaining the respect of boxing fans. That's what it's really about. I'm a little bit more, I guess you would say, passionate, a little bit more boisterous, I guess. And I will toot my horn a little bit because, I did get a lot of criticism. So, I want to enjoy my moment. But this is a minuscule amount compared to what's going to happen October 9th. When we're out here popping bottles celebrating the new and two-time heavyweight champion of the world. That's going to be another story. So let me real quickly, as we wait for Tay, I think Tay will probably be the first one to come in. He's finishing off his football bets. And then hopefully we get Drew Titan come in here a little bit later once he gets off work. I just wanted to go ahead and get the show started, let people go ahead and start filing in. I know a lot of channels are live right now. So, people will start coming in slowly but surely. Make sure you hit that like button as usual, guys. You guys know the drill. Come in, show your love and appreciation. It's free. I also got a poll going. Make sure you vote in the poll. Right now, most people, the question in the poll is, what's next? Now that Usyk has thrown a monkey wrench into the heavyweight division, a lot of people are surprised. I'm not. So the next question at hand is, what's next? 50% so far say Wilder and Usyk is next. So people are saying going straight for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. We got a fair amount of people saying there'll be a rematch. I guess other would be, you might think it might be Usyk, Dillian White, Wilder, Dillian White. You can throw Joe Joyce in there. At this point in time, we don't know what Joshua's going to do. But if people want my opinion, I'm not voting in the poll, so I'll give you my opinion. I think that Joshua will call for a rematch. And Usyk, being the guy that he is, the fighter that he is, he'll probably take it. He'll probably do it. I think he was a little bit cautious of Joshua to start off with, like cautious but confident. Now he's super confident, and I think he'll stop Joshua if they rematch. That's just my opinion. No, I'm not in Ireland. I'm in Thailand at the moment. Yeah. So I think in the UK the fight went live around, I want to say like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. their time. Yeah. So for me it's like 3 a.m. because we're like 6 hours ahead of UK, and then I'm like 12 hours difference from Central Time in the States, 13 hours Eastern. Yeah, it gets a bit crazy for me. I never really adjust. I always get confused when I schedule in my live streams. It's a bit chaotic sometimes. Shout out to Black Alpha. Shout out to Nitty G. Shout out to Trick Boxing. Trick Boxing, one of the first ones in the chat today. I appreciate you, bro. Also an official member of the channel. Always got to show love and appreciation to the official members, man. Andrew Charles in the house. Soldier Boy in the house. Razor 531. Salute. Let's see what the media says. Joshua step aside so an undisputed will happen. Yeah. So very interesting to say the least when it comes to what's next. But I think the best bet and the safe bet is go ahead and just start focusing and preparing the celebration when it comes to Fury Wilder. I think that's what we need to do. Don't get in the cart before the horse yet. You know, I'm actually quite interested to see what Wilder is going to say after the fight is over when they ask him what his next move is. I would love it if Wilder says, hey, there's no way forward but up from here. So, Usyk, I'm coming for you. That's what I would love to hear. And I think he will. I think Wilder will. Just going through these comments here for a second. Yeah, make sure you guys get those likes all the way up. Get the likes up before Tay jumps in here and Drew Titan and the crew. Get the likes up. I'm just kind of waiting to see if the channels out here, and there's a fair amount of channels. I don't want to mention any names. If you guys pay attention enough, you guys probably already know. But there's a fair amount of channels out here that was, picking Joshua. They picked Joshua to win the fight. Most of them had him winning by knockout. And I don't see any of those channels eating crow right now. They're beating around the bush and they're making excuses. That's when you tell when a boxing channel out here is really authentic, in my opinion. So Stormy was live earlier, and he had Kurt Sugar on there. Kurt said he had Joshua winning by knockout in the 8th round. He went on Stormy's live, and he admitted he was wrong. He ate crow, and they talked about the fight like men. You know what I mean? That's what people should do. But that's what people are doing out here. I thought Joshua was gonna win, but maybe I just didn't see it right. No, you got it wrong. Now eat your crow. And by the way, Black Superman, what's up? Tom Etheridge, what's up? By the way, I am now officially, since I've recreated this channel, I think I'm like 4-0. I believe I'm 4-0 when it comes to predictions. Right? So this is something I do. When Divine Sense Boxing makes a prediction, you can take it to the bank. You can take it straight to the bank. I would say I'm 3-0 with one no contest because I picked Conceição to beat Oscar Valdez, but he got robbed. So that's a no contest. I don't put a loss on my record for judges cheating a man. I don't count that. Ratchet since 91. Respect. I appreciate you dropping by today. Stormy B-Man says, I gave AJ 3 rounds. Wow, only 3. I gave him 4. I gave AJ 4. I gave AJ the second round, which is a gift round, to be honest with you. But I gave him the second round, the 5th round, 6 and 8 is what I gave Joshua. And I'll tell people this right now, right for the record, as we wait for the rest of the crew to jump up in here, is that we now know the truth, right, when it comes to Joshua. People got so upset when I said that Joshua didn't want to fight Ortiz. I mean, forget about Wilder. I won't even entertain the idea of people thinking that Joshua wanted to fight Wilder. He never wanted to fight Wilder. I'm not even entertaining that conversation, but I will entertain Ortiz. And the reason why I'll entertain it is because a lot of people think that Ortiz chose to fight Wilder instead of Joshua because, according to some people, Ortiz thought that Wilder would be an easier fight. I don't know if that's true or not. But what I do know is that they didn't fight. And I think there's a reason why they didn't fight. And I don't think that reason is because of Ortiz. Blame it on the promotion teams, blame it on the managers. I'm talking about the fighters. That's what I'm talking about. I'm getting sick and tired of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is like the prodigy of Bob Arum, basically. That he's ended up that way. He just annoys the shit out of me. But I don't want to hear none of that. Okay. What I'm telling people is this. Be thankful that Joshua never faced off against Wilder or Ortiz. And I'm going to piggyback off of Stormy's point that he made in his live stream tonight, where he said Joshua actually had a better chance. Not a great chance, but a better chance if he would have fought Wilder when he was supposed to fight Wilder. Wilder is better, improved, and is a more complete fighter now. We're about to witness that October 9th. I've been preaching that and beating that drum for the past, 4 months. We're going to see that. So there's a reason why Joshua has been very tactful in how he approaches his fights. I told people choosing this fight was a huge risk for him. But he's running out of options. Right? He hasn't fought Fury, he hasn't fought Wilder, he didn't fight Ortiz. He started running out of options. So he thought, maybe I can beat a undisputed cruiserweight, okay? Cruiserweight, and maybe I can get one in. Big mistake. So, PGH Big Dog, good to see you in the show tonight. And O Williams back in it. He was in here earlier. I appreciate you coming back again for a second time, O Williams. Also, we have Jeffrey H. Lopez. I appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. But I just wanted to make that point clear. I think it's abundantly clear now on why Ortiz and Wilder never happened. Because I tell you guys right now, based off of what I saw tonight, Wilder, Joshua, 3 rounds max. 3 rounds maximum. Um, Ortiz, Joshua, 6 rounds. 6 rounds maximum. Ortiz is a slow starter. The man got exposed. The man got exposed tonight in a lot of different ways. And I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, Wilder ducked Joshua. That talk is done. Ortiz ducked Joshua. That talk is done. That talk is done. Black Superman says, Brazil. He would have ended up Brazil. Maybe not as fast, but pretty much the same result. I give him a few more rounds. Few more rounds. But I think that people just, for some way, somehow, I'm not quite sure, but he just got way more credit than he really deserved, as far as like him being this monster, essentially. I just never saw it. Commander, what's good, man? Good to see you in here. Bronky Malik, what's good? Good to see you. Yeah, Crowed. Crowed, if you don't mind, I don't want to make the link public tonight because last time I did that, we get trolls in here and stuff like that. So if you don't mind, drop your email here in the chat and I'll email you the link. I am Trill Will in the house. He says, salute Divine, man. Still out with wifey. AJ still sucks, and now we know why he ducked $50 million. I don't see a threat that beats Wilder. I appreciate you, man. If you're able to get away from the wifey, I'll be on here at least a couple hours or so. And hit me up. Hit me up on the gram. I'll make sure I'll get you a link, bro. But wifey first. Wifey first. I know how that goes. But yeah, like for me, it's just a situation to where I don't understand where people got this false like security blanket about Joshua. Like I said, I was sitting very comfortably at 3 a.m. on my sofa watching the fight. I wasn't really worried. As a matter of fact, I was actually yelling at Usyk because I saw some openings. I saw some opportunities where he actually could have ended the fight, in my opinion. He did good with landing the right hook over Joshua's jab, but I thought the body was open as well. Because you guys noticed Joshua was using his jab hand to try and fend off Usyk when Usyk tried to come in on him and throw combinations. He just kept that arm up constantly. I'm like, just go to the body. Just hit that body hard. Hard. But he didn't do it for some reason. But you can't be overcritical of a man who, like I said, was in someone else's backyard, was the underdog, and at the end of the day, he put on an amazing performance. But would I would have liked to see Joshua get knocked out? Of course I would have. And let me set this record straight on something else as well. Is I don't have any particular issue with Joshua as a person. But the problem is that if people wonder why, like I'm kind of having a go at him, I guess you can say, lack of better words, like they say in the UK. I'm doing it because of the amount of heat and the amount of criticism that I received just trying to talk about boxing. And that's why I'm doing it. And the other reason why I'm doing it is because you, Joshua fans, painted this nice, pretty picture and made it seem as if Wilder's ducking Wilder's ducking Joshua. I don't think Wilder is worried about Joshua in any stretch of the imagination. And tonight proves that. Like, why would he be? A blown up cruiserweight nearly knocked him out. If he had a little bit more hand speed and a little bit more power, he would have stopped Joshua tonight. He had no answer for Usyk tonight. What did you guys think? For those of you who, before I switch gears and get into the topic of the night, as I'm still waiting for Tay to jump in here, what did you guys think about the commentating tonight? If you guys watched it live, what did you guys think about the commentating? Good, bad, okay? I know Roy Jones Jr. was on there too. They had like 4 or 5 guys on the panel, which is a little bit awkward. But yeah, what did you guys think about the commentating? Because usually it's very irritating when I'm listening to the commentating, especially from the UK. When I watch Wilder Fury, I might have it on mute. I don't know if there's because I'll probably buy it. If I buy it, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So if I buy it, then I get some American commentators. Otherwise, I can't deal with UK commentating. Oh, it looks like Tay Jones just entered the building. I see him waiting backstage. I'm going to bring you in just here in a moment. We have a couple people that are trying to get in as well. So I'll just handle that business real quick. Oh, just lost Tay. I don't know. He dropped out. Maybe he'll come back in. But yeah, so what do you guys think about the commentating? Let me know below here. Whether it was good, bad, okay. Tay, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. What's going on? I can't see nothing.
You can hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can't. Your screen black though.
Yeah, that's what the viewers were saying earlier as well. But you look okay on my end.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, cool. I think it's like, yeah, I think it's lagging a little bit. That's why.
What it do, man? What's going on?
Hey man, just you know, big match tonight.
Oh yeah.
And I know that you had Joshua, so I'm gonna have to call you out a little bit on that.
Well. See, you had to watch the show. You see, because I said I like Joshua to win on the decision, but here's the thing. I'm a betting man, So I told
Yeah.
everybody on my show. I said, I don't like the odds on Alexander Usyk right now. I think when I said it was like plus 180 on one book. One book had it plus 182 and 190. Now I said if it turns to like if it gets to plus 200, take Usyk. And I also stated if it gets a reverse line movement, if it goes 10 point less than where it's at now, go ahead and take Usyk. The crazy thing about it, I had my brother Keon text me. He said I bet you Usyk right now. But that's when he said that. I haven't even went back and looked at the lines. I was like, no, I like Joshua on the decision. So when I went to go look at the lines, once he said that, I seen the lines had went to like plus 160. I put money on it. I put
Wow.
money on
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
That's interesting.
the main two plays that I gave out though was the over 9.5. I've been saying the whole time it was gonna go to decision. So I definitely put a lot of money on the over to go the distance and over 9.5 rounds.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember when we were on here last week and we were talking about Anthony Joshua and Usyk. We were all giving our opinions and stuff like that. I haven't. I don't bet like you do. For me, it's just
So,
you know what I'm saying. So for me, it's just a matter of trying to break down a fight and give my honest assessment.
mhm.
And for me, I had I didn't waver one bit. You know, when I made my prediction back on September 1st, I said that Usyk will win by decision, and a lot of people gave me hate for that. They thought I was crazy. I understood that a lot of people felt that, oh, there's no way he's going to get a decision in the UK in Joshua's backyard, right? But I just felt that he was going to win convincingly, and he did.
Right.
He did. I mean, it wasn't like, and I think Usyk knew that, right? I think he knew the last 3 rounds he put his foot on the gas
Right,
because he probably thought this might be close, and I can't take the chance to try to just box and move because the judges won't give me the benefit of the doubt. And
right.
so he put his foot on the gas and he just continued to touch him up, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure. Hmm.
And before you jumped in here, and I was telling the people here listening tonight that if Usyk had a little bit more power, a little bit more hand speed, it would have been a wrap. I think he would
Hmm.
have stopped Joshua. What do you think?
Well, he did say, I think it was post press conference. He did say that he wanted to knock him out. Say he wanted to stop him, but he said that his team told him not to. So with that being said, I guess it's like be cautious, just box him. They didn't want
Mm,
he didn't want to get caught. They didn't want him to get caught with anything. Going back and looking at it, I had stated even on my show that his footwork was going to give him problems, and
right.
did it ever did? I mean, just go look at it. Joshua was flat footed. He didn't know what to do. And I said he's only fought one southpaw, and even in
Mm,
that fight, only thing he did in that fight was stay to the left, go to the left. There's more than one way to fight a southpaw, and I
right.
I knew about him only fighting one southpaw, and that southpaw is 20 times, almost 50 times better than Charles Martin. It was going to present problems, and I kept saying that. I've been saying that, but everybody talks about Joshua's size. Size has nothing to do with it, despite it being the heavyweight division. It never has been. It's nothing to do with that. He was just a
Right.
more traditional boxer. Yeah, we have seen Joshua box before, but that was just in his last two fights. Every other fight we've
Mm,
seen before his last two fights, what did he do? Come forward. Now he decides to
yep.
box, but you can't box with a traditional boxer.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you think about it, right? Because it really just comes down to skill. That's it.
That's what it came
You
down
know,
to.
skills pay the bills, right? And I don't know. What do you think Joshua's plan was? I didn't really see a clear plan other than he was trying to use the jab, which is what you want to do if you're a bigger, taller fighter to
Hmm.
keep the smaller guy off of you, line up your shots, set up your power shots. But for me, I felt like he just didn't even let his hands go. Like no combination.
Well,
Um,
I think the thing was that because, like I said before, he only fought one southpaw.
so he was confused.
That's what I would want to say. He's only
Mm,
fought one southpaw, and that southpaw is nothing like um, a Charles Martin. But even with that being said, now Joshua did some incredible things in the fight. I must give him that credit. But at the same
mm,
time, he was putting a lot of power into those shots early on, first 4 rounds, and then you started seeing him just started placing his punches in different places, but it had no steam or anything on it. What he should have done was just put pop on it. What I mean by putting pop on it, he's just letting it go, just be a quick shot, like a pop shot. Bam, it's there. But he didn't do
mm,
that. He was pretty much placing it there, placing it. But then one thing that I did see that he adapted to, what he should have did from the beginning, when he did have Usyk coming in early on, he should have went to the four to the body. He started throwing the four to the body like 6, 7 rounds. Why? Should have been doing that first round.
mm. Yeah, very interesting, and that's why I like to bring you on here to get your perspective, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to is understanding the mechanics of a boxer and how we look at it in that way, and rather than just looking from an outside observer. And I felt that too. I felt that when he did land the right hand, Usyk took a step back.
Mm-hmm.
He felt that power.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it comes down to he just doesn't have like that dog in him? That like
Well,
killer instinct.
yeah, because me personally, I would have thought AJ would have pressed the issue early on to
Mm,
make him uncomfortable. But I
right.
did state, even on my show, I did state that if Usyk wanted to win this fight, he got to make Joshua uncomfortable. That movement, his elusiveness, his agility made Joshua very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can see. Did you notice too when Usyk would spin around him, and when he would spin around him, Joshua would still be in the same place.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to pivot to stay, in the right position.
Right.
And it made me think, like, did he even spar southpaws leading up to the fight?
He did
Like, he
sponsor.
looked,
He did.
but
He did.
he looked really uncomfortable. But maybe it's just Usyk's footwork is just so much better than any of his sparring partners.
See, but even though Joshua wasn't really pivoting, what I do give credit to Joshua for doing, he kept his lead hand out, which is jab. I mean, he kept his jab hand out, and when he
Mm,
did pivot, the only thing I would like have Joshua to do, I would have like him to swing out and do it, keep it up, but swing out, so he create more room when you fighting a southpaw. But he was putting his arm out, and he was just taking his back leg, placing it over to the right, and now he's back in line. That's putting you right back in danger of being hit with another shot, which I've seen two different times when he had his arm out. Usyk would throw a hook over his shoulder, which was his jab hand. He would throw a hook over it.
mm,
If he didn't throw a hook, he was throwing the straight left. All he had to do
mm,
was swoop around instead of stepping around. He had to make a U, like he'd make a U.
mm,
Come out of it so it gives you more room. You're the bigger guy. There should be no reason why he ate up your cushion.
mm. Did you notice what Roy Jones said in the commentary? He said, like, I don't understand why Joshua doesn't move his feet. Like, Usyk will come in and he just put his hands up, right? And
That's
Usyk
what
was
I'm
going in.
saying.
He was
Right.
going in between the guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Roy Jones is like, he needs to move his feet. He needs to move out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just, oh, I'm going to block, because you make it comfortable for Usyk, because Usyk doesn't have a problem expending energy, right?
Right.
He's
Right.
comfortable moving around, and he never stopped moving. What I like about Usyk is that constant head movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Constantly, constantly, constantly feinting, feinting, feinting. And Joshua was the whole time was just like, it's like he just kept his power in his holster. It's almost like if I throw something, I might get hit or something like that. And it's just weird in a way where if you're a Joshua fan, which I'm not, so it doesn't really bother me, but if you're a Joshua fan, you probably are scratching your head. Like, you probably didn't expect this kind of fight. But, you got people like me and Stormy and a few others out here. We try to tell people, man. We try to tell people about Usyk. We try that people don't want to listen.
Now,
And now they got to eat crow. Now they got to face reality. And it is what it is. Well, we have another gentleman joining the panel here, Crowd 7435. Man, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Did you want to jump in and say something on this topic?
Oh yeah, I have a lot to say.
Well,
um,
let the people know.
honestly, man, I just want to say that Joshua, he got styled on. It almost kind of felt like a very embarrassing boxing clinic, and I just saw Usyk. He just dominated Joshua from round 1 to round 12. I'd probably just give AJ at least 3 rounds, to say the least.
Mm,
I want to say Usyk, he came very close to stopping AJ when he had AJ on the ropes. But I think Usyk, like you said, he just doesn't possess enough power to actually like knock somebody out because he's a volume puncher. So I thought Usyk, he played it safe because he knew that the tables could have been turned if AJ had caught him at at a right time to possibly hurt him. So
right.
I think Usyk's game plan coming into this fight was very spot on and very calculated. So I give a lot of credibility to Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people hate it or love it. If you're upset that Joshua lost, sorry, but we got to give Usyk his credit, man. He came in there, went into his backyard, put on a boxing clinic, 70,000 people in there. 70,000. And I want to say this, man. I understand people are saying there. I feel like it's an excuse. Tay and Crode, you can leave your opinion. They're saying that, oh, he got his eye busted, his orbital bone maybe's been broken, and that's why he left the ring early. But my point was, I've seen guys' heads swell up like this, like a big ass balloon. I've seen guys get knocked out, get back up, and still give a post fight interview. Right? I've seen crazy stuff, eyes bleeding, eye hanging out, crazy stuff, right? And He didn't say one word. Now, this is my problem with it. 70,000 people spending their hard-earned money to come and root and cheer for you, shout your name, sing for you, support you. And you can't at least say, hey, thank you for coming in tonight and supporting me? I don't know, man. I feel like that's not a good look for him. You know, him being displayed as this great people's champion of the UK and what have you. And I made another point earlier when I was live saying, even after the second fight, when Wilder lost the way that he did, he still did a post-fight interview. He still said what he could, you know, even though he was confused and disappointed that the fight was stopped, but he still gave his thoughts and thanked his fans. So I wanted to put that out there, and people are already starting to come out, oh, yeah, but, you know, he broke his eye and he had to go see the doctor and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I think it's an excuse. What do you guys think? I'll start with Tay.
That's bullshit. First of all, when you're in this game, everybody, well, I'm going to say everybody knows, but the thing that stands out the most, if you're a champion, excuse me, I got something. Sorry about that. But when you're a champion in the ring and you're a champion on the outside. Excuse me, I don't know why they keep playing. But you're a champion in the ring and you're a champion outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those people hold you in those regards. Now, What happened when Adrian Broner lost to Maidana? He rushed out the ring. They crucified him. They crucified him. So everybody needs to go crucify Joshua. It doesn't matter. Anything. That doesn't matter. Daniel DeBose stayed in the ring, right?
Yep. That's a very good point. I forgot about Broner leaving the way he did. And
come on now.
Yeah.
And that's no excuse, you know.
Yep. Did. You're right. They did criticize Broner. They did criticize Broner.
They did. Very bad. Made memes and everything. I mean, but you know, but let's say if Deontay did that, they'll crucify him even more than they already do now. You know what I'm saying? But that's not champion behavior. Just because you lost, it's not. You lost to another great athlete. And you didn't, and like Joshua just didn't do bad, not to me, because I look at overall boxing. He definitely had some moments and he had some bright spots in the fight. He definitely did a lot of, you know, technical things that, you know, I would see, you know, for us being in the ring, a lot of great things that I saw him do. So it wasn't just like, he just got the shit beat out of him. Not to me, because I see different things, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He was never one of the best. And that on top of that, despite, you know, him being a cruiser, people saying he's a cruiserweight or anything of that nature, at the same time, this man was an undisputed champion. So it wasn't like you just lost to any old body.
Mm-hmm.
So it was no reason just to rush out the ring. But if you're a champion, I'm going to hold you to those regards, no matter if and buts or what. No, it don't matter. At the end of the day, I'm going to hold you into those because you're the heavyweight champion, not just in the ring, also on the outside.
Yeah, and to do it in your home stadium is even worse.
Right.
You know, 70,000 people. And it's like if they were fighting in Ukraine and he lost and the fans were screaming and like throwing shit at him and, you know, he had to run up out of the ring, maybe. But you're in the UK. Fans are there. They're already shocked that you lost. They're already disappointed that you lost. Like the minimum amount that you can do is say, I appreciate everyone stopping by tonight. Sorry I couldn't get the job done, but we'll be back. That's what you say, right? We'll be back.
Right.
You know, and let people go home with a little bit of dignity. Imagine if you are a Joshua fan, you go to the stadium, you're screaming at the top of your lungs, rooting for your man, he loses, and then the man just leaves. Imagine that drive back home. Imagine you driving back home and like with no explanation whatsoever other than he just got his ass beat. I don't know what to make of it. What's your opinion, Crowd, about Joshua conducting himself after the fight? Are you there, Crowd?
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I forgot that you called me.
All good.
No. I just think it was just pure unprofessionalism. You know, I was always told when I used to wrestle in high school, my coach told me, be humble in defeat, but be satisfied in victory, but never um, never be satisfied with what you learn from your victories and your defeats, because in life you have to lose in order to win. And I think what AJ did not do, he didn't learn from this loss. He just thought like, okay, well, it's just a loss, but I'm not going to care about what my fans, brought out for me, because they worked so hard, every day in their day-to-day lives just to come out to see you. And I think that was just pure unprofessionalism on Anthony Joshua's part to not at least say something to the fans to say, thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry that I didn't get the victory. I'll be back stronger, and I'll, show you guys why I am Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, 100%. Also, let me ask you real quick, Tay. Do you know if Deontay watched the fight tonight?
Yeah, he saw it.
Yeah. Did he have any thoughts?
He just didn't like the way Joshua walked at the ring. I mean, like he said, let it had been me. They would have crucified me more than they already do.
Man, that's deep right there.
And he also stated that he knew that. He said he knew that it could be a possibility that Joshua would lose his fight, and he said only because AJ hasn't fought nothing but one southpaw, and that southpaw that he fought is nothing like the southpaw that he fought tonight. And like Deontay said, I hear people saying size, but size has nothing to do with the fight.
Yeah.
It's just some intangibles that Joshua could have done, but at the same time, it was just like he knew it could be a high possibility that would happen. But he didn't say nothing bad. But the only thing he was just like, more than anything, that he could have said something. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the champion in the ring as well on the outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right about the size, right? Because that's coming from a man who's never been a big heavyweight, right?
Right.
212 pounds, 215 pounds, knocking out guys 240, 250, 260.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not always about size. Yeah, Deontay's he's a tall man, and Usyk is, I think, maybe 6'4", maybe 6'3", but still, I mean, I think what it comes down to is what you said, Tay. What it boils down to is he's not just some cruiserweight that decided to challenge a heavyweight champion.
Right.
He was an undisputed cruiserweight champion, also a gold medalist as well.
Right.
So he's going to bring pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bring skill.
Sure.
And to me, it was two men in the ring. One man had a better game plan than the other, and that man executed that game plan. And he didn't try to knock out Joshua. He didn't do anything out of character. He didn't do anything to, shock the people. He just went in there and did what he had to do and use his style and try to force Joshua to outthink him and beat him. And Joshua couldn't do it. That's just the way that I see it. And there's a few little things that I thought that Usyk could have done a little bit better to maybe finish the show. But I guess when you're having success, then you might as well just, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Right.
Just let it be. And I do agree with you, Tay, when it comes to Joshua. I think Usyk won convincingly, but it wasn't a shutout. I do think that Joshua he had his moments. There were a couple rounds where he started to land the right hand. And I'm like, uh-oh. If he lands a couple more of those, Usyk might be in trouble. and I was on the edge of my seat a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but he just didn't follow up with it. And it's like Usyk is backing up, and you're not following up with it, and he let Usyk off the hook.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think everybody is on the same page for the most part. Just browsing through the chat here. So the next question at hand. My throat is already getting sore from talking about this fight now for the past 3 hours. So let's move on. Usyk is now the unified heavyweight champion. The world is on pause. All the eyes now turn to Wilder Fury, even more so than before. And I told people this: get through Joshua Usyk first, and then Fury Wilder will be amplified even more because it changes the conversation, right? Does Joshua win? Does Usyk win? And now that fight is done, all of that energy is now focused on Fury Wilder even more because that's the next big fight at hand, and it's also a heavyweight match. So now we start answering questions, right? Who will be the undisputed heavyweight champion? That's what it really comes down to. Usyk's got the belts now. So I have the poll in the chat, and you guys can vote. We can go ahead and check it out to see where it stands at right now. The question is, what is next? 55% say Wilder versus Usyk's next. Wilder's going to beat Fury, and then he's going to challenge Usyk to try to unify and become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. We do have 39% that says, nah, Usyk and Joshua will actually rematch first. We have a few people saying Fury Usyk, but that's obviously probably some trolls lurking in the background. They can't comment because they're not subscribed to the channel. Too bad. And so I'll go ahead and swing it back to you guys on what you think is next. I think we all agree that Wilder's going to beat Fury. Some of us may say less than 3. Some may say less than 6. Some may say maybe it takes Wilder 8, 9, 10 rounds. Regardless, Wilder's going to win the fight. So Wilder reclaims the WBC. What is the next move? I think it really boils down to Joshua Usyk rematch, which then puts Wilder on pause for a moment, or Wilder moves on to defend the title against maybe Joe Joyce or Dillian White or whoever. Or does Usyk avoid the rematch, or Joshua doesn't want the rematch, and then they just go straight forward and maybe, I don't know, April, May of next year to find the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So I'll start off with Crode first. How do you see the heavyweight division start to pan out?
Honestly, I think it's gonna probably have to go Usyk Joshua rematch because Joshua will probably still need to honor what Eddie Hearn wants out of the contract, unless Joshua wants to retire. But if Wilder is successful against Fury, I don't see why undisputed can't happen. I would try pressing for that if that's a possibility. But just like the way things are with politics, I think it's just going to be Usyk Joshua rematch, and then Wilder's going to be put on standby if he beats Fury, which I'm pretty sure he will. And just probably wait until undisputed is primed and ready.
Yeah. Before I swing it to Tay, just to let people know, we have 110 votes in the poll, but we only have 68 likes. There's something wrong with that equation. Let's get those likes up. All right, let's continue to boost the likes and continue to push the conversation forward. And I know you guys are waiting for us to switch gears and get into the big topic of the night, which is obviously Wilder and Fury. We're going to get into it, so make sure you guys hit that like button. So, Tay, what do you – obviously, you with Deontay, you probably know that the ultimate goal is to be the undisputed heavyweight champion. But what do you personally think is going to happen now that Usyk he's taken the belts?
You're gonna see a rematch with AJ and Usyk. Definitely gonna see a rematch with AJ and Usyk. And then of course, we'll. I don't think we'll wait. I believe we'll have a fight in between that time. We'll probably see Undisputed in the middle of the summer next year.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be a rematch. I think AJ is going to be pressed to rematch Usyk. Shout out to William for the super chat here. He says, "Salute Divine Sense. I should have bet on Usyk. Yeah, you should have. You should have. You should have betted on him. You would have walked away with some money tonight. I appreciate the super chat, William, and thanks for being a part of the conversation as always. Um, yeah, I don't typically bet, but I am being very, very, very tempted to bet for the Wilder Fury fight. And for me, it's not a matter of like morals or anything like that. It's just I'm just conservative with my money in general. That's just the way I am. And but it's just one of those things where like I betted for Pacquiao Mayweather, and that was out of the ordinary, and I made some money on that. But this fight, I just feel like what are the odds right now, Tay, for Fury Wilder? What do you know?
On one of my books, he was at plus 220. Another book was like plus 230. I can check real quick though. Let me see. One of my books got him at plus 235.
Okay.
You got another book that has him at. Let me see. As I'm looking at my computer.
What's the underdog though? What's the odds there?
What is the plus 235?
2 plus 235. Okay.
Yeah. So you put $100 down. If you put 100 on that, you'll win back 335.
I know. I've got a friend. I know over the course of time of talking about this fight, several of my supporters have put money on this fight. I personally have people back home. One of my boys, he put $2,000 on Wilder. So people about to make some money out here.
Oh yeah.
People about to make some real money. Mike from Michigan says that's easy money.
It is.
Y'all want to get paid? Y'all want to get paid, man? Put your money on Deontay. Go big too.
I'm telling you.
Go big.
I'm telling you.
Go big. Listen to your man Tate Jones. He knows what it is. And make sure you got my Cardinals in line to beat the Jaguars too, by the way.
For sure.
Yeah, they should. They should take that. They should take care of that easy.
For sure.
Yeah, Trick Boxing says flight booked and ready. Let's go, Bomb Squad. Who else is going to the fight? Let me know in the chat if you're going to the fight, and if you're still in between going or not going. You're not sure if you want to go, but you're interested in going. Hit up Tay. Tay's got tickets, I believe. Hit him up on Twitter, and he can sort you out. I believe there's still some available tickets. So I'm not stateside, unfortunately, but if I was stateside, it wouldn't even be a question for me personally. I don't care if I gotta sell my bike, I gotta do a yard sale. I don't care what I gotta do. That's a fight that I would have to make. This is history in the making.
Right.
So let me swing another question at you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there seems to be a little bit of a sway in momentum where leading up to the July date, Fury fans seemed extremely confident. Now, as it's been postponed and Wilder has more time to train, they're starting to see, I'm talking about Fury fans here, they're starting to see more and more inconsistencies from Fury, and he's starting to sound a little bit more like manic, the way that he talks. And I don't know if you guys watched his most recent interview with this guy, what the hell is his name? Maxon or whatever, Maxon podcast or whatever. I went live about it, but he's saying all kinds of crazy stuff now. Before it was like, oh, I'm gonna smash him. He's a Dasa, whatever. But now he's literally just throwing all caution into the wind now. He's just saying all kinds of crazy stuff. And for me, what I gather from it is he knows time is ticking. And the fight is inching closer and closer and closer. This is his way of, I guess, gassing himself up and trying to keep his fans engaged and try to keep his fans from going against him, basically. Because I don't care who you are. We all know people go on Instagram at least once a day. Most people in the world go on Instagram at least once a day. And so you guys have all seen the training that Wilder's been doing. So we don't really know what Fury's been doing because he hasn't released much other than some back-breaking deadlifts and some random, like, speed bags, right? He hasn't done much, but Wilder, bench pressing and pad work and indoor, outdoor, pretty much a little bit of everything, heavy bag work, everything. So even Fury fans are starting to peep it, right? They coming, oh, what is he looking like? So I think the confidence level is starting to drop a little bit, and I'm starting to people are starting to bring back the old notion that was brought up earlier, leading to July 24th, which was, the fight's not selling. Nobody wants to see this fight. That's what that's the new thing that they're trying to say now. And for me, I find it's a bunch of excuses. They're already starting to set up shop to come with 1,000 excuses when Fury actually gets knocked out. Right? And that's what I'm starting to feel from it. But you see Fury starting to change into this complete villain character. And he was making a mockery out of the glove scandal and all that stuff in his recent interview, talking about, yeah, Deontay, make sure you go backstage and check my gloves for brass knuckles and knives because I like to put things in my gloves to hurt people. And him and the guy was like, ha, 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 it's so funny, making a mockery of that whole situation. Well, what we do know is that, yes, Fury, you will be checked thoroughly because we don't trust you. So don't worry. You're going to be checked out. But I find it funny that now he's making a joke out of it. Whereas before he was like, oh, it's Wilder's mentally unwell. Wilder's mentally unstable. It's all crazy talk. I would never do that. I'm a professional. But now he's mocking it like it's a joke. They also brought up the egg weight in the hands. And he was saying how, be careful because, they're trying to say that I don't have power because I put egg weights in my gloves. But in fact, I have these turbo jets, as he calls it. I have these turbo jets that are just going to unleash on Wilder. So a lot of interesting things are coming out. I don't know if you guys heard that interview that he recently had. But do you guys feel that there's a shift as well? Do you feel like the confidence level is dropping? Do you feel like Fury knows that he's not really prepared? He didn't really have a good camp. He knows that Wilder had a very good camp. And so instead of giving in, he's trying to play a mental game. Does that make sense, or do you think there's something more to it? And I'll start with Tay.
I think it's a roid rage.
Damn.
Yeah,
So you think he's back on it?
Yeah, of course. That's what he loved to do.
Man. What do you know? Do you know anything about the testing for this fight?
Vada.
Just like the basic VADA? So there's ways to get around that, right? I'm imagining.
Of course. But if I was him, I wouldn't be surprised if another test came from a different group.
Ah, I see. You see, this is why I bring Tay on here. Let you guys know. We got no reason to make this stuff up. We literally have no reason to make it up. Crow, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I would say it's a mental psychopathy that Fury likes to play all the time. Because every time when I hear him talk, it seems like his mindset is dwindling and breaking apart, almost like as if a drug addict can't stop doing drugs, and he's admitting that he's not doing well. And just based off of his recent actions and his emotional outbreaks, it just basically speaks for itself. Because if you know that you're going to get your ass knocked the hell out in a fight that you obviously knew that you signed up for, on the dotted line, knowing that you had to cheat your way out of it, that's not going to happen. Because you put your life on the line in a sport like boxing, and you knew well, very well, coming into this sport that what comes around goes around. And I just think at this point, Tyson Fury, his life is basically put at risk at this point. He knew what he was getting himself into, and now he's going to pay the price for it.
What do you guys? What comes to mind in the chat? You guys can comment. We got Tay here and we got Crowd here. When I pull this video up, just this still picture, what comes to mind? This is his most recent interview. I already went live about it. There's probably some people that haven't heard my thoughts on it yet, or possibly your guys' thoughts either. By the way, I before listening to this podcast, I had no idea who Chris Mannix is. The name kind of rang a bell a little bit. Maybe I probably ran into something years ago, but I didn't really know much about him. But he's clearly a massive Fury fan, because every time Fury was mocking and criticizing Wilder, he's up there laughing and cheerleading, and that's a bit sad because I mentioned in my live stream about this before. When Wilder goes on PBC or Wilder goes on 78 Sports TV, yes, there's a little bit of bias there because PBC, that's their fighter, but also 78, everyone knows he's a fan of Wilder. But there's no cheerleading going on. It's asking questions. Hey, much love, champ. We wish you the best. And that's that. But then you get these cheerleaders on here, and they're buying into these antics. It just makes it just look worse. That's why I feel like it's a desperate move by Wilder right now because, like I said, it's desperation time. Teddy Fresh drops a super chat and says, I truly believe Wilder is going to inflict so much damage that Fury is going to quit. Now, I've heard some different opinions about that as well. Some people think that he's going to get knocked flat out, but I've also heard people saying that they feel that he's just going to beat him up. He's going to beat up Fury, and Fury will either quit on a stool or find a way out. I personally think that Fury has too much pride and ego to quit. That's my opinion. And I think he'll get knocked out. That's what I think. But what I want to hear, I want to highlight a few things that Fury said here. One thing that kind of caught me a little bit, not off guard, but struck me as odd, is he said, he said, even if I had only 3 days notice and weighed 400 pounds, I would still crush Wilder. And it's like, how, even if you're a Fury fan, how do you buy into that? Like, seriously, how do you buy into that? Like, at some point, you got to draw the line, right? Like, where is your own morality at this point? Where is your own, like, common sense at this point? Tay, have you heard this interview?
No.
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 You probably wouldn't go out of your way to listen to it, I'm sure.
I mean, he lies about everything, so it's really hard for me to even listen.
Yeah. Crowd, have you heard it?
No, honestly, I really don't care about Fury. He's a public enemy to me. I don't listen to my enemies. I mute my enemies.
Interesting. Very well said. So, for those of you who haven't listened to it, and if you want to try and bear the sound of Tyson Fury, then it's up there. You guys can find it. Just search. You can just put in Tyson Fury, and it'll pop up. It's Boxing with Chris Mannix. And he said a lot of outlandish stuff. A lot. So I'm not going to go through it. I've already made a live about it, but I just want to put it up here so you guys can it out if you wish. But like I said, I feel like it's now starting to go into desperation mode, and I don't know what is this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if Fury is really buying into what he's actually saying, but I feel like it's just all theatrics at this point. So I'm gonna jump over to Wilder's Instagram page real quick, and show a little bit of love for Wilder because it's been a little bit of maybe at least a week since I've dropped by, and for me, I just see when I look at it, right, I just see a bunch of positivity from Wilder's page. A lot of positivity, looking very humble, looks ready. He's just in a different mind frame. And for all the fans out there, if you're a fan of if you're a fan of Wilder, but maybe you have some people around you that are trying to change your mind and say, no, Fury's too good. Sometimes I like to come in and just look at Wilder's page, just browse through and get that positive energy from his page. And it like makes me think like, I don't need to buy in to, quite frankly, the evilness from Fury. That's what I call it. And whenever you're pressed with evil, sometimes you got to go and find some positivity and light. And, I come over to Wilder's page and I see the positivity. I go and watch the training footage that he's released, and it just kind of boosts that confidence. It's like, yeah, like we're good, and something that I do, I see Tay and Drew Titan putting in those comments, but I saw this little trailer.
I'ma never back down, never run, no retreat, I don't know how. He said he would knock him out. Like when they 5 shots on the first round. When they 5 shots on the first round. He puts him down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Now ready for the heavyweight world.
So that's the next fight at hand, guys. Now we know who won the Usyk and Joshua fight, and this is the next one. And now it's time to put all your chips on the table and go all in, basically. Let me see if I don't want to miss any comments. We may have some questions from people. One Big Spree says, I think Fury is still a hard fight. He don't stop being 6'9" or 40 pounds heavier. Wilder is a better fighter and way more fun to watch, but Fury ain't an easy fight.
Fury ain't 6'9" either.
What is Fury?
Fury's only 6'7", 6'7.5".
So they lied about that?
No, he lying about that.
What? Yo. So that means his arm reach is not even that long either.
He everything about Fury is a total lie. Go look at him and Deontay standing side by side. They're damn near the same height. How the fuck is he 6'9"? Every time you see Fury in getting ready to fight somebody or standing next to Deontay, check his shoes. His soles are thick as hell. He's not fucking 6'9", man.
Yeah, but
even in the ring, you can see right here on the screen now when they was faced off together, it was eye level. Somebody lying.
Yeah, but Deontay is almost as tall as LeBron James, right?
Yeah, Deontay. If you ask me, sometimes it depends. You know how we like to say we got on a good day I'm this sort of tall or something like that. But but it's truthful. Like I think Deontay like 6'7", 6'7.5", 6'8" sometimes. It just depends on the good day. I say 6'8" because sometimes you just how you wake up sometimes like, damn, I feel tall. Like you can be like, damn, dude, you tall as hell today. You know what I'm saying? I really don't pay attention because I don't been around so long. You know what I'm saying? But they tall guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, Fury's tall, but I don't agree with 6'9".
What is Wilder for sure? He's 6'7" for sure, right?
6'7", 6'7.5", somewhere along in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually interesting. I never really thought that deeply about it either. I just, I wouldn't imagine that people would lie about the tail of the tape.
I mean, you look at
Um,
Hellenius. Look at the picture with him and Hellenius standing side by side. You can tell who's taller there. And Hellenius is definitely 6'6", 6'7".
But I don't think I've ever heard of somebody lying about their height before, especially in heavyweights.
Trust
That's
me,
just
he's not 6'9".
that's just weird. But now that you mention it, Tate, it makes me curious because I've actually kind of noticed it on the fly. I'm like, he's not really that much taller than Deontay. But I
Thank you.
thought, whatever. You're not there in person, so you don't want to make that judgment. But you have been there in person, Tay. So you have a clear advantage to see it in real time. But look at this. I'll bring this up right here. I got them facing off right now, and to me, it looks very close. So I'm going to share it real quick. Yeah, and this is the face off right before the most recent one. So let's see what you guys think. Damn near eye level.
Told you. And guess what?
Right?
And look, and you probably can't see the shoes, but he had on some thick ass soles on them shoes.
Damn near eye level.
I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I've been around for so long. I know.
What do you think, Crow? Does that does that look right? Eye level? You think 6'9" is a joke? Is a lie? They look eye level to me.
Yeah, I think so because I can easily tell that he's not even like naturally 6'9". Like Deontay looks like he's taller than him.
Told you.
Wow. Learned something new today. Learned something new, and you can look at the shoulders as well, and see where the shoulders line up. That's another indication. Sometimes, some guys have longer necks than others, whatever. But really, you can look from the shoulders to really see that height discrepancy, if there really is one. Let me see if I can rewind the tape a little bit to see when Fury came in and walked up. See if they show his shoes. This is a little bit further away. Yeah, you're right, Tay. Like, he doesn't look. If he's 6'9", then Wilder's like 6'8.5".
I'm trying to tell you, man. Look at those.
Right,
look at the shoes. Look at the shoes.
I got it.
Look at the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all the time.
There
bro.
we go. There we go.
And and the crazy part about it, I noticed that during the face-off at the second fight, he came in with some tennis shoes at the press conference. That was I think that was like on Tuesday or Wednesday. Last time we fought for the second time, he came in with some tennis shoes, and when he walked past me, I was like, "Damn, he ain't that tall." So when he stood next to when they had the face-off on stage, when everybody got to pushing each other and stuff on stage, that was the first time I was like, "Damn, D taller than him." That's when I noticed. I was like, "Nah, he got to be lying about being 6'9". I never really said too much about it, but I know what I be seeing. I'm like, "Yo, I know I ain't tripping." You know what I'm saying? I look at metrics and stuff like that. Like, I'm a numbers guy. Like, I look at numbers.
Right. Where are you at, Tay, in this crowd? By the way, I never asked you.
Behind Chris on the back side of this guy with the black mask.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I came out to the side of Malik, on the side of that table, when everybody started, talking.
Saying
and I was saying 2 times.
Yeah, this is like, look at this, people. Look at what Tay's saying right here. Like I said, if Tyson Fury's 6'9", then Deontay's 6'8.5". So everybody's lying to everybody at this point. Everybody's lying. But Deontay has always pretty much said since the beginning of his career that he's 6'7", 6'7.5". So, I don't know enough about Fury's career to know what he was saying years back. but I know I've been following Wilder since probably 2012, 13, and I know he's always said that he's 7.5. So, very interesting. Now, in the ring though, they got boxing shoes on, and we know that boxing shoes are much more thinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that they're really close in height then, because then Fury doesn't have those thick soles.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
So to Crode's point, then the reach is not as big as what people think it is either.
Nope.
Did you go to the second fight, Tay, live?
What you mean? Yeah. I was there.
The second fight?
Yeah.
I never really asked you that since I got you here. And maybe for other people, they'll be curious to hear your thoughts as well. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind watching the fight live, seeing it unfold, seeing, Wilder, he was obviously not himself, right? But he was still trying to fight. He was willing to go out on his shield no matter what. And so what was in your mind watching it live?
I just knew something was wrong with him. I could tell the way Chris looked at me. I could tell the way that Chris looked at me, that something was wrong. Chris didn't want to say anything, and I was like, "What's wrong?" He, he went back to his seat. He didn't say anything. But I've always said, it's only a couple of people asked me about that night, but that night, from the beginning, from the walkout, from the introduction to everything, it just felt like a weird night, very, very weird night. I just felt like a lot of stuff was out of place. I felt like as if, when they mentioned, they called Tyson Fury named second as he was already the champion. I felt that was weird. And I've never seen Deontay look like that, even on his worst days in sparring.
Right.
I've seen Deontay take ass whippings in sparring before, but never like what I saw. And that's when I said something is wrong. Even Deontay Jr., we asked him in the back, "Why are you crying?" He said, "Man, I ain't crying because my daddy lost. I'm crying because Tyson Fury cheated." And DJ's only 6'7" now. So at the time he was 6. So what they say about kids. Kids gonna tell the truth.
Yep. They see stuff.
Right. So, I just felt that it was a weird night already. You know what I'm saying? I just felt, it was fucked up.
Now for the people that don't know, Tate, who is Chris?
Chris is Deontay's assistant and bodyguard.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so a lot of people who are Wilder fans may not know the entire camp, and we probably got some new Wilder fans as well who have recently decided that Fury's a piece of shit. So I'm gonna go for Wilder. So we had another question by a supporter here. He says, if Tay was there, did Breland and Darrell talk before the towel got thrown in?
Yep.
Because I remember hearing his voice, throw in the towel.
Yep. I was the first one to let everybody know that's exactly what happened. And, it wasn't that Mark felt as Deontay was hurt. He said something true enough, he did say something to Jay in the corner with him, but Jay told him no on 2 different occasions. And that same towel that he threw in was the same towel that was up under Marcelo's foot. Marcelo's didn't know why he was picking it up. But at the same time, you can definitely hear it wasn't Anthony Darrell, it was Andre Darrell, but Andre Darrell was yelling, throwing the towel. He has been sent for like 3 rounds. And the only thing I can remember is seeing Mark shaking and just, fed into it. But, it is what it is. It happened,
Yeah, and I think watching the fight live, I was so caught up in the moment, adrenaline and everything, a little bit like in disbelief. And what I've always told people is put all the glove scandals, the egg weight, put all that to the side just for a moment and just focus on Deontay Wilder. For me, that's what stood out to me the most. It wasn't like the glove looking weird, or I wasn't even really focused on Fury. But I was looking at Wilder, and it just, like, to your point, Tay, I've never seen him look like that, not even close to that. So for me, it was like I was just in complete disarray and disbelief. Like, what is actually happening right now? Like the second round, I pointed out in a film study that I've done in the second fight, where he was like dragging his back foot around the ring, like he couldn't move his back foot. And one time he landed a straight right hand, and Tyson took it, which then the media spun that, was like, oh, he can take Wilder's power now. But it didn't have that normal Deontay Wilder power behind it because he didn't have his legs. And so after digesting the loss and, accepting the fact that it was a loss, and I remember the camera going back to the dressing room, and Wilder was sitting on the stool just with his head down in silence. And it was much more than just like, oh, he lost. It just seemed like there was much more behind it. Like he was trying to make sense of what actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, what just happened to me? And so for someone like you that was there ringside, kind of seeing it all unfold, I've always said, after watching the fight and paying attention to the corner during the fight, I never saw Mark Breland warn Wilder that if you don't do something, I'm going to stop the fight.
Never did.
Like, if you're not looking good right now, and I don't want to do this, but you're going to force me to stop the fight. And I'd never heard it. And so when people get so upset about Breland and saying, "Oh, what Wilder did was messed up," I think to myself, well, what if that was you though? Like, you can't, to be, in all fairness, Tay, you're a boxer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a fair amount of experience. I know my way around. And as a boxer, right, you have to put yourself in a boxer's perspective. You're the heavyweight champion of the world. The last thing you want to do is quit or have the fight stopped. If you're gonna lose, you gotta stop me. You gotta knock me out. Right. And so Breland knew, right? I would imagine, and you can probably back me up on this, but Breland knew that Wilder's stance is, no matter what happens, don't stop the fight.
Man, he would say that in camp all the time. He knew that from the beginning. Right.
So he knew that. So Tay Jones here on Devon Says Boxing just clarified that. So all the people watching in the background, we always got haters watching and peeking through the blinds. So he knew that. Now, let's real quickly pivot to the topic of, okay, when does a trainer, a head coach, step over that line, that code of honor, that code of respect? When is that line crossed when they say, I know you don't want me to stop the fight, but I have to do it anyway?
Like Deontay said, it'd be different had he warned me. He said, I would have been okay if he said, listen, hey, champ, you got to show me something. But you didn't say anything. So it just makes look like, you went against my wishes. If I'm your boss and if I tell you don't be late to work the next time you be late, I'm going to fire you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think it has something to do with water. That's false. It has everything to do with what happened in the ring. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy that everything came out the way it did. People didn't even know whether he was fired or whether he was not fired. I knew about it the day of, but I never said anything because it's not my place. It's not my business to say anything. You see what I'm saying? One thing I ever did was speak on what actually happened that night and what I saw and what I know and what I can prove.
Right.
But even with that being said, no, like Deontay said from the beginning, had he at least said, hey, champ, it's not looking good for me. I know I asked Jay to stop the fight, but hey, you got to show me something. I'm going to stop the fight. Deontay would have been content with that, but he failed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't have anything against Mark or no ill will or anything like that. Whatever happened between him and Deontay happened between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you ever have a conversation or ever talk to Jay about the towel being thrown in. Obviously, Jay's not the head trainer, so he doesn't make that call. But
Jay was the
if
head
you,
trainer for that fight.
who was?
Jay was the head trainer for that fight.
Oh, he was the head trainer.
Yes,
So doesn't the head trainer usually make that call to throw in a towel?
exactly. That's what a whole misconception and everything. That's where everybody get everything confused. That's where everybody get everything confused. Now, Mark
Right.
did ask Jay. Mark did ask Jay because Jay told me that to answer your question. Jay told me that, but he also told Mark no. I remember him saying it in the ring. I mean, in the corner. I sat directly behind Coach Cuz Hill, and to the right of me was Marcellus, and in front of Marcellus was Coach Mark Breeden. So I sat right there in the corner.
I'm so glad you're clearing this up because, like you said, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation. And the fact that Jay is the head trainer, Jay should be the one throwing in the towel, but Mark did it. Like, people, like Tay just said, he doesn't have anything personally against Mark Breland because it's between Deontay and Mark Breland. But what people need to now understand is why Deontay felt the way that he felt. Why did he feel that way? You can see it on his face, right? You can see it on Deontay's face when the towel was thrown in. He walks over to the corner like, why'd you do that? Like, who did that? Where, had no idea of what just happened. But a fighter wouldn't react that way if he was warned.
Exactly.
Right.
And that was the whole thing about, that was what it was about. People take their stories and try to twist it and do a whole bunch of other stuff with it. But that was theoretically what it was about. Because truthfully, his fiance, she thought it was Coach Cuz Hill. And he was like, shit, I ain't do shit. And everybody, they looking like, what the fuck, whatever. But
and on top of that, he threw the towel from a seated position.
From a seated position, exactly.
Yeah. Didn't even go up to the ring apron to throw the towel. And normally, it doesn't always happen, but normally, if a corner's that adamant to stop the fight because they're really scared, they're worried about their fighter, they'll throw the towel at the referee.
Do you know what he said, though? The thing about, this is what people got to understand. And you can read lips very well. When Deontay asked him, he said, your ear bleeding.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I saw that.
My ear been bleeding for the last fucking 4 rounds. What the fuck are you talking about? So
yeah, it's true. That's true.
Like I said, that's it's between him and D. But like I say, and I even told my trainers before, if something ever happened like that, at least tell me, warn me,
please. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all it is. Like everybody think, it's about a loss. No, it's not about a loss. Have you ever, let's see, I'm gonna give an example. Okay, we're gonna use women and men, right? Now, if when you tell your girl, or your wife, or whatever, something, and you mean what you say, and all of a sudden she just, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna say the word disobey, but we're gonna use the word, let's say, for instance, like do something completely that you don't want, and then like it's almost like taking your pride away as a man. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm trying to describe it the best way I can, but what Mark did, and I understand what Deontay is saying. That's like taking someone's pride away. Like he take pride and dignity of being in the ring and dishing out what he said he's wanted to do to somebody that somebody should be able to do to him. He take pride in what he say. So by that happening, that's almost like you took a man's pride away.
His manlyhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. And like I've shared a story here before on my channel when I was working in a camp one time with a Muay Thai fighter. And I was in the camp to do strength and conditioning for him and work on boxing skills and stuff like that, because sometimes Muay Thai fighters, they lack the boxing skill. And so I'm working with this guy, and he's in a fight. And he was getting his ass beat. I mean, simply put. But he's tough. He's a tough guy. And he's trying to fight. He's trying to do his thing. He was cut above the eye, got an elbow across the eye. And he had told us, though, in the locker room when he was getting his hands wrapped, that he said to everybody that was there, all the coaches, he said, I don't care what happens tonight. This guy's got to knock me out. Don't stop the fight. And all the coaches said, all right, if that's what you want to do, we'll try to uphold that. So the fight's going, he's getting his ass kicked. At one point, he gets dropped. He gets up. He finishes the round. He comes to the corner, and the main coach, really good coach, he runs to him. He said, look, man, I know what you're thinking, and I know what you said, but if you don't do something, like, I'm going to stop the fight, because at this point, like, you're not defending yourself anymore.
Right.
You're not defending yourself. You're not throwing anything back. The ref doesn't look like he's going to stop it. So I have to do my thing. You got to live to fight another day. And the fighter is like getting iced down or whatever. He's arguing with the head coach. And I'm sitting there just kind of like, I was like a second cut man, just kind of watching. And he's like, no, don't stop it. Don't stop it. And they're kind of arguing, but seconds out, he had to leave the stool. I think it was like the last round. So the coach trying to give him the benefit of the doubt of that last round. Okay, try to just survive this last round. He ends up getting knocked down again. And then the coach threw the towel in. At that moment, I was kind of like, oh, he's not going to be happy about this. But the truth is, and everybody's different. Everybody is different. But when the fight was done, we went back into the locker room. He was, he's all swollen up, icing him down. He was very humble. He said, you know what? You saved me from myself. Because you got your adrenaline pumping, right? You know this, Tay. After a fight, that pain starts kicking in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Your shoulders, your elbows, you got swelling on your face, your back's hurting, your legs hurting. Right. Everything starts hurting. During the fight, you got that adrenaline, right? And when that pain started setting in, and he looked in the mirror and he saw his face all busted up, he looked at our trainer. He said, man, you know what? You saved me from myself. I appreciate you warning me and giving me that chance. And that's like, I think when it comes to Wilder, right? If you don't warn him, he's going to keep going because that's who he is. That's how he's built. If you don't warn him, he's going to, you think he's just going to lay down? But to your point, Tay, they know this about him. That's the whole point here. Mm-hmm. They know who D is, right? They know what he's about. And so you have to warn him. I don't think Jay warned him either, but I don't think Jay ever had the intention to stop the fight anyways.
No, Jay had told him to do something in the ring, and Deontay did it. No matter if people think he was receptive or not, but he did exactly what Jay told him to do. So that's how Jay knew that he was receptive.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. So, I try. We revisit these areas because normally I'm up here talking about the third fight because that's what really matters at the end of the day. Everything has been said. Everything has been done. We move forward and we focus at the mission and the task at hand. But we do have these rare occasions where I'm able to get somebody like Tay on the panel. We want to inform the people because not all of my supporters follow you, Tay, and vice versa, right? We have a mixture of people spread across YouTube. And you saying this, Tay, is probably the first time for a lot of people. Right? And so it's very important because we go out in society and we encounter Fury fans. We encounter Wilder haters. We encounter these people in our everyday lives. We talk about boxing in the lunchroom. You talk about boxing when you go to the park, when you go to the gym.
Right.
And people talk about it. Wilder ain't shit. Wilder's an excuse maker. Blah, blah, blah. So this is what you put in your arsenal. This type of information.
Right.
So when I encounter people, I ran into a guy from the UK not too long ago, and he was trying to give me shit about how Fury's going to destroy Wilder. And because I'm a content creator and I'm involved and I know way more than most people do.
Right.
But when you start hit them with these facts, they start shaking. They don't know what to say. They're like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yep.
And it's like, got a phone, right? Beautiful world we live in nowadays. We got a smartphone. Start scrolling through videos. And I pull up Drew. I pull up Tay. I pull up all kinds of other people that I know have spoken about this. I pull up my own videos. I said, there you go. See, the people don't want to hear the truth, man. They don't want to hear the truth.
Very true.
The truth hurts. And see, they know their man hasn't been training. They know he hasn't been taking it serious. And they're so fixated on what happened in the second fight. They think that fight was so convincing that there's no way Wilder's going to make improvements to beat Fury. People literally hit the pause button. I want people to know, because we're different here. If you're tuning in to this live stream and you tune in to Tay Jones and Crode and Drew and Boxing Ego and 78, all these guys who've come together to support Wilder, we are a very small percentage of boxing fans. I want people to understand this. Majority of boxing fans, they hit the pause button after the second fight. Everything that has happened from that point until now, they literally have no clue of, unless they listen to BBC in the UK or listen to some big channel on YouTube who puts out the promotional bullshit. They don't know what's going on. So when you encounter people and you ask them, why do you think Fury's going to beat Wilder? They'll tell you, literally, verbatim, well, he beat him so badly the second fight, it's going to happen again. That tells you what? They don't watch any of Wilder's training videos. They don't pay attention to any of the content creators out here putting out facts. And what that boils down to is either one of two things or both. One, lazy. Two, don't care, or both. And that's what it comes down to. So don't come at me with, I'm a boxing fan. No, you're not. You latch on to the big events, you tune in, and you keep it moving. That is a casual fan at best, but you're not really a boxing fan. So, and I'm not throwing shade at somebody who is not a boxing fan, but if you claim to be a boxing fan and claim to know this, that, or whatever, I will be here to correct you and let you know that you don't know what you're talking about. And that's what we do out here. And we had a very good, interesting conversation, Tay, the other night when I was live. Somebody brought up the resumes. So we have the styles, who's going to win. But then people say, okay, let's look at resumes. Because when it's all said and done, Tay, when the history books are written, they're going to look at Deontay's resume. They're going to look at Tyson Fury's resume. They're going to look at Anthony Joshua's resume. They're going to say, who was the best heavyweight of this generation? Right? For me, it boils down to one thing. 10 title defenses and 0 title defenses. Weigh it, right? But then people say, oh, but he's fought nothing but bums. So those fights don't count. Again, 10 title defenses, 0. I don't give a shit if you fight 10 cab drivers. It's still better than 0. But the funny thing is that he didn't fight cab drivers. People tried to make it seem as if he did. Right? You can go all the way back to when he beat Bermain Sterveen to win the WBC. And people say, oh, but Bermain was never really that good. Well, he stopped Chris Arreola, who most people can't stop him. Bermain Sterveen got a TKO against Chris Arreola, if you didn't know. And Chris Arreola has given a lot of heavyweight problems. Go ahead, Crode. You want to say something?
Yeah. I also wanted to chime in to say that Bermain Sterveen also avoided Luis Ortiz too, because remind you, Luis Ortiz, he was on the come up, and when he was about to become his mandatory, Wilder stepped in right away to take that spot. So technically, in theory, Bermain Sterveen should have fought Luis Ortiz, and then Wilder, he should have fought AJ for the IBF or for the WBO or whoever was going to get there first. It should have been, a 3-way tournament to Undisputed a lot sooner, because Wilder, he was going to become champion, but it was going to be who was going to be there first. Klitschko was still there, Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, and then Joshua, Joseph Parker, all these top names that were going to start, popping up soon, were all going to see each other at some point. So was it either going to be Deontay Wilder first, or was it going to be AJ first? And I pretty much think that to be fair, Bremain Severn had it a lot harder than most guys because he was like the only one wanting to fight everybody. And Wilder, he took charge of it to say, I'm going to take you out. And then, look at where he's at now. So everything played out right. But at the end of the day, Bremain Severn was like the best heavyweight that you could think of before Wilder took him out.
Yeah, I think he was I think he was the best option available as well. And to top it off, he beat him in a 12-round decision, outboxed him, which nobody expected. Then he rematched him in the rematch and cleaned his ass out. So there's like really no doubt in anybody's mind. And then, he has the 1-round knockout against Brazil. He has other victories against other contenders. So at the end of the day, for anybody wondering about resumes, I think you just have to swallow a very hard pill and understand the fact that Fury did it to himself. He doesn't have a great resume other than Klitschko and Wilder. That's all he's really got. Right? And so that's on him, though, because he won the belt against Klitschko. He could have defended his title. He could have done a lot of things, but he went into depression. He became a coke addict, became an alcoholic, and was contemplating suicide. Right? And I'm not trying to hate on the man because he went through that, because I've battled through PTSD coming from the military. I know all about that. But don't start pointing fingers and blaming other people for you not having the success that you could have had. You went what you went through, you got over it. But I think what really upsets us Wilder supporters and fans is that you never really respected Wilder for giving you the opportunity. That's what really upsets me, is that you fight a couple like tomato cans before you fight Wilder. Wilder gives you a title shot. Nobody else was. Joshua wasn't willing to give you a title shot. Nobody else was willing to give you a title shot. Why? Because they probably understood the criticism that if I fight this guy and beat him, they're probably going to criticize me because I beat a guy who came off of addiction. But Wilder said, it's all good. I'm going to give him the opportunity. And then it was a draw. And then the disrespect just continuously got worse and worse and worse and worse over time. And it didn't have to be that way. It really didn't. It could have been two great heavyweights colliding, trilogy, respect and honor and having a great trilogy, but it turned out to be chaotic and nasty and full of hatred and lies and deception. And who do we blame that on? We blame that on Wilder? Wilder's just trying to be the best champion he can be. Y'all hear about Wilder popping on for drugs? You hear about Wilder cheating? You hear any rumors of tampering with gloves? I haven't heard anything. Shout out to Yase, man, with the super chat. He says, respect Tay. People think Usyk would beat Wilder because he beat AJ. Wilder is no AJ. Usyk would have been asleep in 3 rounds, and that's being generous. Can't wait for October 9th. Wilder going to walk through Fury. Styles make fights. Okay, Usyk is a bad matchup for Joshua, but it's not the same thing if he goes up against Wilder. It's just the way it is. Quite frankly, I don't know anybody in the heavyweight division at the moment that can beat Wilder. I mean, I can't really. There's some guys out there that'll be a challenge, maybe. But I want to put all of that on pause because I want people to witness Deontay's abilities and skill, the new improved Wilder, come October 9th. That's what I want to happen first. When they see the head movement, when they see the body work, when they see the combinations being put together, when they see the defense, when they see the fluid movement, they see what has been implemented through Malik Scott. That's going to change the tune, right? That's when people are going to be like, I guess we were not only wrong about Fury beating Wilder, but we were totally wrong. And to be honest with you, I hope Deontay does beat up Wilder. There's a part of me was like, if he gets a first round knockout, that's great because it's like it doesn't really matter, right? Told you so. But imagine if Wilder decides to drag the fight on and just beats him up, cuts him, drops him several times, and doesn't finish him off and really puts punishment on him. That is a statement beyond belief, because that is the statement that Fury has been living on for so long. I beat Wilder up. I beat him up. So Wilder could return that favor, but a knockout is just as satisfying. We have Kenneth Perry in the house, a recent channel member. He says, salute Divine and Boxing family. Jab that like button. Yeah, got a lot of different emojis here. Fire emoji, pop emoji, king emoji, bomb emoji, coffin emoji. It's coming quickly. I can't wait. Yeah. So now that we've got Joshua Usyk out of the way, we have T minus how many days we got now, Tay? We've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, people. Put your money up. Right? If you're going to the fight, hotels are booked. After parties are being arranged. Bottles are being sent in. People got hit up to casinos. It's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy night. And if you're watching at home with your family, set it up nice. Have a nice celebration. But, you know, if you're out there trying to make money like Tay, as Tay says, put your money up and double up.
Yes, indeed.
Put it up and double up. Yeah, so it doesn't – I'm not quite certain if Drew is going to be able to make it tonight. He might be caught up with work or something like that. But I did see that Drew does he's planning to go live tomorrow morning, I think, stateside. And we had Stormy. He was caught up with dinner and his wife. And we had I Am Trill Will caught up with his wife. So I guess it's wifey night tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Most people.
I got my wifey night tomorrow night.
Yep. Got to make the time, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm fortunate. My girl's out with her friends, so I have the studio to myself. But I'm sure she's going to try to latch on tomorrow. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But look, I appreciate everybody who has dropped by tonight. I went live now right after the fight. I talked 2 hours there, and then I've just talked 2 hours here. So a little bit burned out. I do plan to drop a prediction video / breakdown of Canelo Plant and also Stevenson Herring. Those are 2 very interesting fights coming up that I'm looking forward to breaking down. And was there anything that we can have a real quick 10-minute discussion if you guys want some quick thoughts on Plant and Canelo.
Yeah,
since we're here. And I think there are probably some people in the chat that would like to hear our thoughts just real quickly. The fight to the side just for a moment. I've been telling people when I encounter them in person and here on YouTube is that Caleb Plant, win or lose the fight, he wins a moral victory on what he did at the press conference, calling Canelo out, in my opinion, and standing up for something that he believes in. Most people that face off against Canelo are a bit starstruck, you know, and they're all respectful and nice and what have you. Caleb Plant literally came out, right in the beginning and said, "You're a cheater. I don't give an F about you. You ain't shit," and bitch slapped him. So what else can you say? So at the end of the day, Caleb Plant stood for something. He wins a moral victory. Rather, he wins the fight or not is up for discussion. I'll swing it to Crode first. How do you, if you want to talk about the press conference, you can, but if not, who do you got in this fight if you have already made up your mind on who you think wins and why?
Well, first of all, I want to say that press conference was crazy, and rightfully so. I think Caleb Plant should have had every right to punch Canelo in the face for what he just did. But then on top of that, it's due to the health and safety of the fighters. So I think like the moral behind that should have been keep your hands until fight night. Don't hurt each other. Yeah, I get it. Some emotions might flare up, but I mean, if that's how they want to sell that fight, at least try to do it with least amount of violent resistance. But as far as this fight goes, I got Plant all the way. I just think Caleb Plant is a bad style matchup for Canelo, just simply for the fact that one, Caleb Plant is nowhere near a Billy Joe Saunders. He's nowhere near a Caleb Smith. He's nowhere near a Liam Smith or a Avni Yildirim. When you look at the skill set, what does Canelo struggle with? He struggles with guys that have pure boxing ability. And I truly believe that when you look at Canelo's struggle with pure boxers that give him problems like Lara and I'd probably even say Austin Trout's to say the least, and Floyd Mayweather, Canelo cannot get to you. And if you keep Canelo away from the inside, Canelo loses. And I believe that Caleb Plant is going to do everything possible to keep everything to the center and not let Canelo get this pressure like most of his fights really go, because Canelo is just mainly just like a pressure fighter. He uses his upper body strength to keep himself, stable with his punches. But once he gets outboxed and he can't get to you, what does Canelo really do? He basically just can't get to you, and he struggles all night to try to land a good shot on you. So that's why that I'm rocking with Caleb Plant for this fight.
So you got Crode going against the grain. He's got Plant. What do you say, Tay?
I mean, I got to see how everything plays out. Like I said, I'm a numbers guy. I like to look at my numbers. Me and Caleb Plant came through the amateurs together. Personally, good friends. And then when we see each other in public, we always speak to each other. Like I stated last week, he exemplified that he's not going to back down. He exemplified that he's going to be he's here to fight. He's not just looking for a check. I'm not sure if you guys seen his latest post on Instagram. Very, very interesting. And he let him know that, motherfucker is not what you think it is. So, he put it on his shirt, and you can go look at it on Instagram. He put that picture of him up. But I like I said before, man, I'm rocking with Caleb. I can't even, I got to go with my guy. I'd be wrong to go against my guy. I got to go with my guy. People would say he hasn't fought anybody. The same thing that they just said about Usyk, right?
Yep.
So he hasn't fought anybody of Canelo's caliber. And this and third, man, at the end of the day, anybody can be beat on any given night. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Caleb, he has all the tools in the toolbox that we haven't seen Canelo adapt against very, very well at all. And Caleb, he's a mixture of every fighter that Canelo has faced. And he falls in the category of, like Crow said, the Lauras, the Floyds. Hell, you can even use the other guy that gave him problems. I forget his name, but being just moving. As long as he don't get on the inside with Caleb, we got ourselves a good fight.
Are you talking about Billy Joe?
Well, Billy Joe gave him some problems as well. Before, before it ended. But
Oh, Amir Khan, right?
Amir Khan gave him some problems as well.
Yeah. I just wanted to add that in. Sorry.
But like I said before, though, better believe Canelo's going to bring it. Better believe Cape's going to bring it. And there's nothing wrong with making my pick. Austin Trout gave him some problems as well. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, it's not like he has this Superman cape on him. That's nah. Anybody can be beat. So I'm rocking with Caleb. Now, I don't think it'll be a knockout or anything like that. It'll go to the scorecards. But Caleb has to win convincingly. He has to win convincingly. If he doesn't win convincingly, better believe they're going to get Canelo. But he has to. He has to do it convincingly. You know what I'm saying? I like Canelo. But I got to go with my guy.
Yeah, and I think that's my biggest worry is if it goes to the scorecard, if it's close, Canelo will get the nod for sure. So Plant, he's smart. He knows this. He knows he's got to be convincing. And another thing I'm a little bit worried about Plant as well is he starts off really well. He can box your head off for 9-10 rounds. And then he starts to gas out a little bit.
Right.
And he starts getting touched up. And that's a lot to do with because he does move a lot and he does like throw combinations and he's, and the more you move, obviously, the faster you get tired. So I just hope he's in tremendous shape. Canelo does get frustrated too.
Right.
He shows frustration when he's not able to impose his will and things like that. So something to look into. I'm looking forward to making my prediction video, so you guys stand by for that. We do have Big E here in the super chat, and he says, to my family, Tay, coming from Hawaii, good to see you and Divine Sense on tonight. See you in Vegas. Great job, Divine Sense and Tay. Love listening to you guys, Team Wilder.
For sure.
So we appreciate you, Big E, for the super chat, and everyone else who has dropped in tonight. It's been a long night. We had some fights, and I'm sure people have been bouncing around doing different things tonight. C. Wood dropping in the building here towards the end of the live stream. Glad that you at least dropped by, C. Wood. Good to see you, man. I saw you hit me up on the gram, followed me on the gram. And on that note, if you guys don't know, I have the new official Instagram page popping, so make sure you guys swoop by, follow me there. Prince Cobb also in the house. Want to recognize him because he is an official member. What's good, my G? Look, I lived in the city where Caleb Plant is from. And when I tell you it's in the middle of nowhere, that's what I mean. If you can make it out of there, he can do anything. That's interesting. Yeah, and that's one thing is he said that at the press conference, right? Y'all been doubting me since the beginning. Keep doubting me. See what happens. And he said, I'm a winner. And I like that from him. I love that confidence. I hate when fighters come up there against Canelo and they're like, hey, I just want to thank everybody. I'm happy to have the opportunity and I'll try my best. That's not Caleb Plant. Like Tay Jones said, he's coming to fight. He's coming to win. And you can feel and you can hear the confidence. So I'm looking forward to it. On that note, we do have, if you guys didn't know, we had a special guest in the chat here. His name is Specific Volume. And he is the guy that has made the music video called Back in Blood, representing Deontay Wilder. He has his own channel. Make sure you guys follow him. I'm going to play his video here at the end as our little outro. He's also on the Instagram. You guys can hit him up there. He's been showing a lot of love for the Wilder team. Obviously, he's an artist. He created this soundtrack. He made this video, and it's a nice little piece to add into any content, in my opinion, when we're talking about Deontay Wilder. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for the outro. And to Tay, you know what it is, man. Anytime you want to collaborate or if you want to bring me on your channel, I'll be more than happy to be a part of your channel as well. And I believe, Crowd, you have your own channel as well, right?
Yep, I do. I cover mainly like a lot of boxing content. But I do like a variety of stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, so go and follow Crowd as well, guys. And that's what it's all about. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get Drew and Stormy and I Am Will, but it happens. We'll have them on here next week. Hopefully, we'll have a bigger panel. And next Saturday will then be 1 week away from October 9th. I like to call it Judgment Day. Y'all can call it whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, let me go ahead and play this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what I represent. My favorite stand, what's understood? Don't have to be explained.
Fuck your step aside money. I want it back in blood. Your daddy scared cause my right hand similar to a slug. You can run but can't hide. Know exactly where to find you. In the closet grabbing dicks with a pound of coke right beside you. There's no more interviews for you fools that try to diss me. Middle fingers to you fools that laugh when they try to lynch me. Race doesn't matter? Come on, be true. It's just a matter of time before they try to lynch you. They jealous of my gifts, so of course they all gon' hate. They gon' try whatever to stop me cause I'm too great. A bunch of snakes watch them seas, enjoy it when they body shake. Too many liars like Eddie saying, well, I'm weak, mate. They said I was the Preston finish. They lied on my name. Now, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You are to blame. I'm here to hurt you, make you feel like you've been hit by a train. My power's all natural, but you be sniffing cocaine. Your team better have the doctors on standby. For your actions, I'ma make your whole fam cry. It's a must that I expose you, fuck you up till no one knows you. Oh my God, this might be the day that you die. Your team better have the doctors on standby. For your actions, I'ma make your whole fam cry. It's a must that I expose you, fuck you up till no one knows you. Oh my God, this might be the day that you. We know you use them dirty tactics, we'll do it again. Applying pressure with the scope, now there's no way to win. They had me on that juice and I still ain't feel his pillow fist. He tried to run from this third fight cause he a big bitch. Every man that tried to step up got popped and dropped. But this one is personal, blood will be mopped. This for your wife and kids, I advise them not to come. Getting hit with the right is like getting shot by a gun. There's only one bronze bomber, that's why they all fear me. I will be undisputed, I can see this shit clearly. They cut me off alive cause I ain't like these other guys. I don't bite my fucking tongue, I'ma say what's on my mind. They said I was the Preston finish, they lied on my name. Now, no more Mr. Nice Guy, you are to blame. I'm here to hurt you, make you feel like you've been hit by a train. My power's all natural, you be sniffing cocaine. Your team better have the doctors on standby. For your actions, I'ma make your whole fam cry. It's a must that I expose you, fuck you up till no one knows you. Oh my God, this might be the day that you die. Your team better have the doctors on standby. For your actions, I'ma make your whole fam cry. It's a must that I expose you, fuck you up till no one knows you. Oh my God, this might be the day that I want it back in blood. Back in blood. I want it back in blood. Back in blood. I want it back in blood. Back in blood. I want it back in blood. Back in blood. I want it back in blood.
But at this point in time right here, we want it back in blood. Ain't nobody really on this squad no more. We know what happened. He know what happened. Come on. Whatever happens come to 24, then that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm very confident in what I'm gonna do. Whatever happens come to 24.